That pink swirl in your sink this morning? You blamed it on brushing too hard. On sensitive gums? On aging? It is none of those. It is your gum tissue starving to death in plain sight. And your dentist and Oppo's solution? A $3,200 graft surgery. Per quadrant. That is 1/4 of your mouth. But here is what they never mention. Prescription mouth rinses kill bacteria. They do absolutely nothing to heal the tissue. It is like hosing a wilted plant without watering the roots. How many mornings have you seen that pink and told yourself it is nothing? Clinical research from 1967, nearly 60 years of buried data, discovered something that never made it to your dentist and Oppo's office. Finnish researchers found that specific fatty acids can penetrate gum tissue at a cellular level. They do not just clean. They feed. They restart the one process modern dentistry ignores: blood flow. That blue bottle in your bathroom cabinet? It is not neutral. It may be actively sabotaging your tissue. We will get to why in a moment. And here is what your dentist will never tell you. The swishing is not where the healing happens. There is an 80% rule that changes everything. It takes exactly 2 minutes. But the bacteria was not the real enemy. It was what happened after the bacteria arrived. And this is where your dentist and Oppo's training ends. The villain has a clinical name: chronic gingival inflammation. But that name hides what is actually happening inside your mouth. Picture it differently. Your gum tissue runs on blood. Microscopic capillaries, pipes thinner than a human hair, deliver oxygen and nutrients to every cell. When those pipes work, the tissue stays pink, firm, attached to the bone. But when bacteria colonize the gum line, your immune system responds. It floods the area with inflammatory compounds. These compounds were designed to kill invaders. Instead, they become sediment, sludge. And that sludge starts building up in the smallest pipes of all. The Finnish researchers understood this mechanism decades before gum grafting became a $4 billion industry. They watched what happens when inflammatory debris accumulates in those capillaries. The vessel walls thicken. The channel narrows. Blood flow drops by increments you cannot feel, until one morning you look in the mirror and realize your teeth appear longer than they did 5 years ago. That is not aging. That is tissue pulling back from starvation. This is why your gums are shrinking. Not because they are infected. Because the supply line has been cut. The average gum graft surgery costs $3,200 per quadrant. That is 1/4 of your mouth. Most people need at least 2 quadrants. Some need all 4. That is a mortgage payment to replace tissue that was never dying in the first place. Just starving. Let that sink in. Your gums are not infected. They are starving. Now think about that mouthwash. The blue bottle. The antiseptic rinse your dentist recommended. It kills bacteria on contact. That part is true. But then what? The sludge remains. The capillaries stay constricted. The tissue receives no building blocks for repair. You are hosing the leaves of a wilted plant while the roots stay bone dry. Flossing removes debris. It does not unclog the capillaries. Antiseptic rinses sterilize the surface. They deliver no nutrients, no fatty acids, no raw material for reconstruction. The bacteria die. The tissue continues shrinking. You continue bleeding into your sink. Standard dental treatment is designed for containment, not reversal. It manages decay. It does not rebuild supply lines. So if mouthwash cannot fix it, and surgery costs a mortgage payment, what actually reverses the damage? The answer has been sitting in your kitchen for the last decade. Here is the 80% rule. The part that creates almost all of the healing. It is not swishing. It is direct tissue contact. The protocol begins with a blend you make in your kitchen. 3 compounds. Each one attacks the sludge from a different angle. First, virgin coconut oil. 1 tablespoon. It contains lauric acid, a fatty acid that penetrates bacterial membranes and dissolves them on contact. The same compound those Finnish researchers identified nearly 60 years ago. Second, vitamin E. 1 capsule. 400 IU. Puncture it with a clean needle and squeeze the contents directly into the oil. Vitamin E contains tocopherols, antioxidants that neutralize the oxidative stress hardening those inflammatory deposits. Think of it as a solvent that softens what has calcified. Third, clove oil. 1 drop. Only 1. More is not better, it irritates. That single drop delivers eugenol. This compound does something pharmaceutical. It inhibits the COX-2 enzyme cascade. That is the same pathway NSAIDs target. But clove oil does it topically, directly on the tissue. 3 compounds. Lauric acid dissolves bacterial membranes. Vitamin E softens oxidative sludge. Eugenol shuts down the inflammation signal at its source. Mix them together. You can pre-make a 5 to 7 days supply in a small jar. Now, the protocol. Twice daily. Morning after breakfast. Night before bed. Both times after brushing. Take the blend in your mouth and swish gently for 2 minutes. Do not swish vigorously. This tissue is fragile. Gentle movement only. Then the step your dentist never taught you. Using your index finger, massage the blend directly into your gum line at a 45-degree angle. Small circles. 2 minutes. This is where 80% of results happen. The swishing coats. The massage pushes the fatty acids into the tissue. It physically stimulates blood flow, forcing the capillaries to dilate, forcing oxygen and nutrients into cells that have been running on empty. Spit. Do not rinse. Let the oil continue absorbing. Barbara was 67 when her periodontist recommended surgery. Both lower quadrants. Tissue pulling back from the root. The estimate came to $6,400 before anesthesia. She asked for 6 weeks. Her periodontist agreed, expecting nothing to change. 6 weeks later, her hygienist leaned back in the chair, squinted at the chart. Then at Barbara and Apo's mouth. Then back at the chart. The angry red was gone. The tissue had tightened. The pockets had closed by nearly 2 millimeters. And Apo's, what did you change? And Apo's, the hygienist asked. A tablespoon of coconut oil. A vitamin E capsule. 1 drop of clove. But there is something that can undo all of this overnight. And you might be doing it in your sleep. Mouth breathing. When you breathe through your mouth at night, the saliva that protects your tissue evaporates. The gums dry out. The sludge hardens. 8 hours of undoing what the protocol built during the day. If you wake with dry mouth, your system is running without coolant. Consider mouth tape, surgical micropore tape over the lips, or a chin strap to train nasal breathing. The oil blend works twice as fast when the mouth stays wet overnight. 3 things will sabotage this protocol. First, aggressive swishing. The tissue is weak. Rough movement creates micro tears that trigger more inflammation. Gentle only. Second, alcohol-based mouthwash immediately after. It strips the oil layer before absorption is complete. Wait at least 30 minutes. Third, the mouth breathing we just covered. If you cannot find clove essential oil, use whole cloves. Mash 3 to 5 cloves directly into the coconut oil until the oil takes on a light brown tint. Let it sit for 10 minutes. Same active compound. Slightly lower concentration. The protocol may take 8 weeks instead of 6. 1 caution. If you take blood thinners, warfarin or similar medications, consult your physician before adding clove oil. Eugenol has mild blood thinning properties. Follow this protocol for 6 weeks. And then pay attention to your sink. 6 weeks from now, you brush your teeth. You spit. The sink is white. Just toothpaste. No pink. You run your tongue along your gum line and feel something different. Firmness where there was sponginess. Tissue that grips the tooth instead of pulling away from it. Your dental hygienist leans back. Looks at the chart. Looks at your mouth. The numbers do not match her expectations. And Apo's, what did you change? And Apo's, she asks. That pink swirl you saw this morning, The one you blamed on sensitivity, on aging, on brushing too hard. If you want to understand why fixing your gums might be protecting your brain, watch this next. Save this video. Send it to someone who reaches for that expensive mouthwash every morning. They deserve to know what it is not doing.